Good morning. Happy Tuesday morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch, but you knew that. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch, and drink it if you got it. And I got it this morning. Look at that. It came yesterday. Wow, I'm so excited. And I haven't even had a sip out of it. Not yet. So I'm going to save the inaugural sip for right here, live, in front of everybody. Well, some of you anyway. But you're coming in, you're piling in. Good morning, good to see you. So again, drink it if you got it. Wow. It tastes better this morning. Honest, same coffee. It just tastes better. These must be magical. Magical coffee cups. Wow. Anyway. Or maybe it's the placebo effect. Oh my God. Already I heard a ka-ching. Somebody bought me a coffee cup. Kitchen Witch, Tanya, bought me 5 coffees. Thank you so much, Tanya. Very nice. She says, thank you for all you do for the community. You are, and then in caps, the best, exclamation point. Wow. Can it actually get any better this morning? I have the new coffee cup. And the coffee tastes great out of it. And I just wanted to show you this one. This one is Ellen's coffee cup. It's the red one. Mine has the blue two-tone. They came out great. They came out great. And I didn't get it till late yesterday afternoon, so I didn't have time to turn it around to mail it to Ellen. But I will mail it to her. Priority mail today, which means that she will be getting it probably Thursday. And she'll be able to drink some coffee out of it Thursday night on our private community live stream, and that'll be just great. Ellen's all over the chat today, but I gave her the day off. She was feeling a little under the weather, and I said, take the day off, and she'll be in the chat, and she'll be keeping track of any questions that you might have for me that I don't get to. So that's nice. I'm glad. And I still have this whole list of leftover questions that she sent me because she wasn't going to be here yesterday. And while I'm talking about scheduling, don't forget, tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, the live stream will start at 10 a.m. Eastern Time instead of the normal 8:30. And I have a dermatologist. Once a year now, I go to the dermatologist to get a thorough look over because of the fact that I had a malignant melanoma on my nose, and I like to keep track of that, even though I know that I'm a hell of a lot more cancer-proof now living this lifestyle than I was back, I think it was 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, when I actually had to go through all that nonsense of getting a huge skin graft put on my nose. I don't ever want to have to do that again, but I do go at least once a year and get a thorough checkup. I should be back with plenty of time. But I'm telling you this because if for some reason I don't I am rushing like crazy to get the equipment set up when I get back. I can't just go away and leave all this stuff sitting out on my screen porch. Check back. If I can't make it or I have to cancel tomorrow's stream, I will throw a post in the community tab. So that's it for tomorrow. That's it for tomorrow. I have a few notes here that of things I want to talk about today, and I think I'll start saying hello to people now. Oh, one more thing. One thing I wanted to show you before I actually do that on the coffee cup vein. I've already got two pictures. I showed you this one yesterday, but I'll show it to you again. Steve Rogers, Captain America, has his coffee cup, and he sent me a picture. And then yesterday, my good friend up there in Ponte Vedra Beach, Jerry Voitush, sent me a triple whammy picture, man. And with the bald head and the beard, I think he's starting to look like Mitch. At any rate, Jerry, thank you so much. He's got his coffee cup. He's got his take the rest of the day off t-shirt on. And he's got a cigar in his mouth. Man, life is great. That means so much to me. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that, Jerry. I appreciate. That's a great picture. And sometime today, I'm going to be adding that section to my website right under the pictures of the guys who sent me t-shirts for all the people who actually have sent me a picture with their Morning Coffee with Mitch cup. That magically makes your coffee taste better without actually having to buy better coffee. It's a miracle, folks. An absolute miracle. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, everybody. And the first post of the morning, and this was at 4:15. I thought I got up early. Was from Lucy Auerbach, and this is such a cool post, and it kind of warmed my heart a little bit. It says, "Good morning, Mitch and fellow carnivores. Mitch and," I think she meant Scooby, "everybody and groups of us at my senior community gather to watch you while enjoying our bacon and eggs. Thank you for inspiring us or keeping us alive." Let me make my screen a little brighter here so I can actually read it. There we go. Yes, thanks for keeping us alive. Well, I don't know if I can take all the credit for that, Lucy, but thank you so much. That was very, 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 very kind of you. And then we had Mike Seeley Sr., father of United Carnivore here in Melbourne. Boyd Lamb chimed in and said he was off to work. And here we have Moolicious. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Mark Boos is here, back from his cruise. Happy anniversary, Mark. I don't know if it was yesterday or today, but happy anniversary again. CB Carmack from Alabama. Good morning, my cellulose-free family. I like that. Terry Sue is here. Good morning, Terry. How you doing? Good morning to all you greasy spoons. Holy cow, 32 degrees in Northern California. And it's going to get cold. I don't know here. I don't know if it's going to be cold tomorrow morning, but they're saying we're going to have the coldest, by the end of the week, we're going to have the coldest days since the end of last winter. I will be out here dressed appropriately. It's going to be funny. Wayne Herman is here. Good morning to you and the feral grandma. Wanda Gerling chimes in, says hi to everybody. And Peter, good morning, Peter. You weren't the first one in this morning, but Always good to see you. Always good to see you. And Ellen chimed in. Hi, Ellen. Good morning, early birds. She says, you're busy this morning. Yes, yes, you are. Granny, Boo too. Good morning to you. Lori. Hiya, Lori. Good morning, Mitch. And Chatter, she says. Don Shonger's here, says good morning. Even I chimed in to say good morning. Look at that. Good morning, coffee fans, I said. Something a little different this morning. Isabella's here. Hi, Isabella. Good to see you this morning. Steve Studley is with us. Hi, Steve. And saying hi to everybody. And let me see who I haven't said hi to yet. Tom, all the usual suspects are here. We got off to a great start. And let me make sure that I'm live on YouTube. And I have to make sure I'm live on Rumble. I see a lot of people in the chat. Yes, I am. And let me take a quick minute. Lori is over there in the Rumble chat. How you doing? So is Ellen. And Mike Seeley, LT2112 from Tampa Bay is in there. Brenda Day, Rod Weeder, good morning. Mark Booz is in the Rumble chat. We've got 25 people over there watching this on Rumble. How great is that? PO33 says good morning. Keet, K-E-T-E, good morning, Mitch. Sitting out in the morning sunlight with my bare feet on the ground. ST2AL. I don't know who that is. Hello, all first time listening on Rumble. And we also have somebody named Grumpy Old Carnivore. That's close. That's close. Grumpy Old Carnivore. And Ellen is also in that chat. So it's great to see you guys. Thanks for coming in there. And who else haven't I said hi to? Richard Williams from Copper Hill, Tennessee is here. Good morning. Still haven't gotten to 8:30 yet. The chat has been really busy. I'm going to see if I can do this quickly. Dixie Scott, how you doing? Good to see you. And somebody new out to 8:20. God, it got so busy. Got so busy. And everybody, Robert Haug, how you doing, Robert? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Peninsula, Michigan, carnivore for a year. Good for you, man. Good for you. Good for you. I'm glad you can make these morning chats. That's great. We got 120 people so far. Wow. Wow. Trucking Carnivores here. Good to see you. Charger, Mopar, Rick from Miami. How you doing? And let's see if I can even get up to 8:30 here. I don't want to miss anybody. Jesse Farmer's with us. Hiya, Jesse. Terry Sue. Good morning to you. Paul Molden, good morning, says life is good. My slogan. Crazy Horse, how you doing? And Booby Goats is here saying good morning. Life After Carbs, Chris, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Captain America is here, Steve Rogers, and he was here in time to see his picture because he came in at 8:30. So now 8:30, and let's see who came piling in after 8:30 that I haven't said hi to yet. I'm going to try to get through this quick, and I am looking for questions while I'm doing this. If you have a question for me, QQQ, capital QQQ, first thing in your chat, and then type your question. And if I don't get to it, Ellen will make a note of it today. And she's a trooper, I'll tell you. She'll make a note of it today, and we'll get to it. We will get to it eventually. Joseph Stevens, how you doing? Good to see you. Larry Ryan is here. Hi, Larry. Tammy. Hiya, Tammy. How you doing? Tammy Pitarch, good to see you. Graceful Lily is with us. Good morning. I think I said hi to CB, maybe not. But if I didn't, hiya, CB. How you doing, Sheriff? Good to see you from Alabama. William McCartney chimed in, says hello to everybody. And Jeff Streslak is here. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning to you. And everybody's chatting away. Mama Bear, good morning. Good morning to you. God, it's nice to see all my old friends. And Kitchen Witch is here. Thank you. Thank you so much for the coffee. That was very, very nice of you. First thing too. Wow. And let's see. B-Matt. Hi, Matt. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Up to about 8:40 now. We're catching up. Cool. Mike Seeley from Tampa is here. How you doing? Good to see you. United Carnivore. Grandma Prepper. Grandma Prepper's here. How you doing? Good morning, everyone. She says. Carrie Duffy. I don't recognize that. Welcome. Good morning to you. Good morning. And Bama J is here. Good to see you here. Sue Hall joined us. And let's see. Jen S is here. How you doing? Another one I don't recognize. Paul Flichter. Good morning from Connecticut. Good morning. I guess it's going to get pretty cold up there. We've got a big cold front coming down across the country that's going to hit us later today and tomorrow. And I imagine most of you north of me are going to get the first dose of winter if you haven't already. Cliff is here. Cliff Medina. Man, good to see you, man. How you doing? Satya joined us. I'm here. It got to go. Well, I hope you're here long enough for me to say good morning to you. And David Kane is here, says good morning. Catfish, I like that. Catfish says morning all. Cole's Attic is here. Good morning. Here's another one I don't recognize. Bayman Golf. Good morning. Thanks for all you do. You're very welcome. Sandy Blythe is with us. How you doing? And Nomadia Van, how you doing? Jeff Johnson, good morning. Good morning to you. I think I said hi to Tom already. If I had, good morning. Cordelia, good morning from Albany, New York. Good to see you. And looking for new names, 8:45, just 4 minutes behind and catching up fast. John Beatty Art, how you doing, John? Says hi to everybody. Here's one that IB Bill. I guess that's how you got to pronounce it. IB Bill 42. Boy, howdy, what a beautiful day in the Ozarks. Yes, it's a little overcast here in Florida, but it's in the mid-60s. It's still okay for t-shirt for me. Mark Whistler. Mitch, sorry, replacement of a cup is slow coming. I'm glad you're doing that. I have that cup. Daughter works in retail, so she is very busy. We'll get it done. Just make sure you wrap it in bubble wrap and do everything to keep the post office gorillas from breaking it. The way that the company that makes these cups for me, they packaged them was fabulous. It was in a box. They came 2 in 1 box, and the cardboard had to be almost a half-inch thick all the way around. They had inserts with braces, and the cup fit tight in the box, but I'm saying to myself, I think if a truck ran over it, it still wouldn't break the cup. So you gotta watch out for the post office. Remember those old airline commercials about the baggage handlers when they had gorillas throwing the bags everywhere? And that's kind of what the back end of the post office looks like, I think. So I really appreciate that, Mark. And I think I may have, seeing as you're here, I think I may have a picture. Yes, I do. There is the side that didn't get broken of your cup that you sent me, repaired as best as I could, sitting up on top of my desk in my office where it's going to stay. And even if I can't drink coffee out of it, I still value it and gave it a place of prominence in my office. So these things mean more to me than you guys will ever imagine when gestures of kindness and appreciation come my way. That is the most important thing. Captain America, Steve Rogers, thank you so much. Bought me 3 coffees and said something for the new cup. And you guys are great. You guys are great. You keep me getting up every morning, looking forward to coming in here and meeting with you. And thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. So that was the picture of that coffee cup that I tried like Humpty Dumpty. And the reason that I can't drink coffee out of it is that there's a lot of little shards that flaked off that I could not either find or glue back on. And that left some razor sharp little edges all around the rim of the cup on the other side where I would be drinking from. And I didn't want to turn my lips into hamburger, but I can display the cup up there. It still looks like a coffee cup. If you look real close, you can see where I glued this stuff together, but I did give it the old college try, and thank you so much for wanting to send me another one. And I'll be using it regularly. In fact, it would be great with me if I never, ever had to bring one of those plain old brown coffee cups that I usually use to any of my live streams anymore. So, with that, we'll have another sip. And say thank you for all your kindness. Where were we? We were getting down to the chat. I was catching up, but I think, here, Robert Hoke's got a question. What is the magic for neuropathy? That could be a very tricky question, and all I can say is the best you can do, unless you've got something so serious that maybe coming from being a diabetic or something, cure the diabetes, and we all know how to do that. But I think I don't think there's a whole lot more that I can recommend. Now, maybe a neurologist can tell you some things to do to fix that. But I think that stick to the carnivore for a while and see what happens. I think that's about the best we can do. And anything more than that, I have to defer to professionals in the field, especially a neurologist that is more up on any nerve malfunction. Sometimes it just happens when you get older. I wish I could give you a better answer to that, but it's a little bit out of my field. Paul Flickner's here. How you doing, Paul? Good to see you. And Meatitudes. Good morning, Meatitudes. I keep looking for new people. And I think Popcar. I think these are people that are just chatting back and forth. When I get to this point in the chat, finding somebody new is usually a challenge, but I am looking for questions, so I'm going to scroll through it. And I have some things I wanted to talk to you about until I actually find a question, or we get to the point where I'll start going back to some of the older questions, because I do like to spend as much time as I can, and Ellen makes that a little easier for me. And I don't see anybody that I haven't said hi to yet, lest my memory fail me. And I am down to the bottom of the chat. Okay, I didn't see any questions, guys, except for that one from Robert. So I will go back to my show notes. And there's a couple of interesting things that I wanted to talk about. Uh, One is a little political, but I think it's a very, very interesting point. And if I offend any of you who did not vote for Trump, I'm sorry, but something's happening, and something is definitely happening in our country. And I saw yesterday that after all, and I don't know what to make of this. Here, let me see if I can raise myself up a little bit. Yes, there you go. Uh, After all of the horrible things that the mainstream media people, all the lies, all the Nazi talk, all the fascist talk, all of the hoaxes over 8 or 10 years that are proven to be hoaxes, of all of the stuff that they threw at him that wasn't true. And that's unforgivable. If you got something that's true, yeah, I want to hear it. But to keep fabricating, fabricating things, and they're still doing it to every one of his nominees, his cabinet nominees that they can. They're trying to, if they can't dig up dirt, they're going to make it up. And then they're going to find somebody that they can pay to testify. It's criminal. It's criminal. And I think we elected him to put a stop to that, but you'll never put a stop to that. You'll never stop the vegans. You'll never stop the vegans. You'll never stop anybody who's an activist in any field and is driven by their ideology. But something is happening in this country which I think is very, very gratifying. We can now come out of the closet in public and actually admit we voted for Donald Trump without fear of having our tires slashed, our houses burned down, and all that stuff. That, to me, is probably one of the first and most important changes that I'm seeing out there, is that all of a sudden, people are becoming less and less afraid of ticking off some psychopath. And I hope that trend continues. And I saw something yesterday on the news that just tickled me. And that was that the two hosts on MSNBC, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, went to Mar-a-Lago and actually met with Donald Trump. And he was gracious enough, evidently, to actually talk to them. Two of the most rabid liars and hoaxers on the mainstream media. And all of a sudden now, they want to be his new best friend. Why? Because the ratings of their network got cut in half. People finally are waking up to the fact that everything they've been hearing from all of these people has been such a fraud. He's a gracious guy. He's a religious man, too. Part of his religion is forgiveness. I envy him the ability to do that. If I had been subject to 10 years of the crap that those people had been throwing at me that wasn't true, I would tell them to go to hell. Not only don't I want to be in the same room with you, I don't even want to be in the same country. But that's just me. That's just me. And I don't know how much of what he did was just politics. But, and I don't know what's going to come of it. But it's, if all of a sudden on MSNBC everybody loves Trump now, that's definitive proof that what they were doing was so despicable. So despicable. What happened to the Nazi? What happened to the fascist? What happened to the person that wants to send the army into the streets and kill Americans? What happened to all of that stuff? What happened to the Russian collusion? What happened to, did he just quit his Russian spy job all of a sudden? How could you, all of you, spread that crap that you knew wasn't true for so many years, trying to destroy this man. Why? Because you're jealous of his wealth? Ugh. We've all known that for years and years, that this has been going. Now they want to be his new best friend. Well, I think he's smarter than that, but I think he's still going to be gracious. And that's the mark of a true gentleman, I would think. So, that was just an observation. We can all come out of the closet now, especially me. I have a Trump coffee cup. I may even insert it into my rotation. And I'm proud of being a patriot, proud of being American. I don't hate this country. I love this country. I hate the direction it was going. And I hope that all the obstructionists out there get what they've got coming to them. We have a system. We have a democracy. We had an election. There was a mandate. If you're an American, honor it. If you hate this country or you're not an American, get the hell out. Get the hell out. I think Congress ought to pass a law allotting a couple of $100 million in a fund to buy one-way plane tickets for all these people, to find some country that they might love and stop trying to destroy the one that they're in. But I'm not passionate about this. Nah. I talked about 10 a.m. tomorrow. I saw something on the news this morning that disturbed me and was also gratifying a little bit. And we have a local TV station here, the Fox affiliate in Orlando, that has Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike is their medical expert. He's from Philadelphia, like me. And Dr. Mike came on this morning. He came on this morning because they had a subject that they were talking about today. And the subject was, a new study came out. I don't know if you can read that. There it is. It says that 1 out of 25 teens in this country now are suffering from high blood pressure. And to Dr. Mike's credit, he at least attributed it to diet and obesity. And he went and he explained how to properly take your blood pressure and kind of admitted that that's not always the case in a doctor's office. And he talked about having your feet flat on the floor, having your arms elevated, calming down before you get your blood pressure taken. And then he talked a little bit about nutrition, and he talked about his own children. And he said, I don't allow my children to drink sugary soda pop. And I said, Mike, Dr. Mike, how astounding to hear you say that on Fox News. And then he said, I let them drink flavored fizzy waters with natural flavors. Well, Mike, you didn't get the memo about that. But that's okay. That's understandable. Most doctors don't get any of the memos. Because those natural flavors can include almost anything. That's a catch-all. They can put maltodextrin in it. They can put anything in there. Any kind of artificial sweetener. So a flavored seltzer water, it may be better than a Coke. It may not have corn syrup and all that in it, but still should be avoided. And then he went on and he talked about, and they showed pictures of a bunch of obese kids as he was talking, and he talked about eating a healthy diet. But he never defined what that is. And again, fell way short of talking about the real problem. The huge overconsumption of carbohydrates. I didn't hear him knock breakfast cereals and anything. But at least Dr. Mike did attribute the problem to nutrition, just hasn't figured out how to fix it yet. But it's a step in the right direction, at least, because somebody's saying, hey, kids, sugary soft drinks are not good for you. Well, no kidding. No kidding. Neither is baby formula that they're feeding these infants, which is all sugars and seed oils, which have them addicted to these sugary soft drinks by the time they're 1 year old. So if somebody someday is going to get on there, and hopefully RFK will start talking about some of these things instead of just food additives, which is a serious problem too. But again, nobody out there has ever even heard the stuff that we talk about, let alone given it any consideration. But kudos to Dr. Mike for at least zeroing in on the fact that, yeah, Dr. Mike, all the problems that our kids are facing today is because they're eating the wrong stuff. Now figure out or start listening to what the right stuff is, and I think you might be able to do a lot of good. Maybe Dr. Mike will actually watch one of my videos. When the cows come home. CB Carmack bought me a coffee. How you doing? Thank you so much. Don't overdose on caffeine with all these coffees we bought you. LOL. Well, I can drink some decaf. But thanks, CB. I really appreciate that. Very, very nice of you. Always nice of you. Always nice of you. And speaking of coffee, let me do this. And I think I was going to talk a little bit about my channel direction today, but nothing drastic. I'll save that for another day. I want to take a quick look. Polish Mike is here. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you. And I'm looking for questions. I don't see a single question in the chat. Yes, I do. There's one right there. Okay. Paul Flickner asks, if you are not hungry and only have one meal in, approximately 55 grams of protein for the day, do you force another meal to just get your protein? I don't. The fact that you're not hungry means you're doing something right. It means you either are already or becoming a fat burner. And your appetite suppressant hormones, the leptins, are working, and your brain is not leptin resistant, and your brain is getting the message sent from your fat cells saying, enough already, we're okay. I don't know how long this has been going on. If it's just started happening, I would just go with it. Go with your instincts for a while. Because your body, if things are working the way they're supposed to, will let you know when it needs more nutrition. So, at least for a little while, and I can't tell you exactly how long because I don't know you and your condition, how much weight you want to lose or anything else, but I can tell you this, that if you've got weight to lose and you've got all that fuel on you, that satiety signal is probably your fat cells screaming, we're overflowing down here, stop eating, let us use up some of this extra fuel we're carrying around. And in that case, it's a good thing. And some people, when they get those very obvious satiety signals, actually fast. And that's a double win-win, because not only when you fast do you use up your own body fat as energy, once you get the pathways cleared, the metabolism is working like it should at a cellular level, and every cell is chugging out ATP energy, burning the fat. And I use the word burning, but we don't burn anything. We just equate that with calories, and that's not a measure, because calories are a measure of heat, and we don't generate energy in our body by putting things on a fire. It's all chemical. It's all chemical reactions. But if you lose your hunger and you got plenty of weight to lose, I would enjoy it. Just eat when you're hungry. I wouldn't stick to a schedule, but I would, or maybe even do a couple-day fast. Some people that are carrying 50, 60 pounds extra around, and that's not uncommon. We hardly even consider those people obese anymore. They're just overweight. We have to look into the 3, 4, 500-pound range. We've changed what our definition of obese is in our minds, but I think the traditional definition of obese would be a BMI, what is it, over 30 or 35? And I mean, you can be 220 and 230 and fall into that range, depending on the size, how big you are, physically how big you are. But people with that much extra weight could fast for 2 months. And the double whammy benefit I talked about was not only will your body start consuming that excess fuel, but you will be in ketosis and autophagy, and you will be cleaning house. You'll be absorbing and using all of those damaged and dead cells and damaged proteins and recycling them. If you have loose skin, autophagy means eat yourself. That's what the word means, to eat yourself. You will be eating this stuff. You will be using this stuff, especially the proteins in your body that you don't need anymore. You don't need all that loose skin. It takes time. It takes a long time for that to work itself out. I know that even after almost 2.5 years on carnivore, my skin is still tightening a little bit. And I know that my age works against me. And it would happen much quicker if you were younger. Now, if you're losing too much weight and you're getting too thin, yeah, maybe you have a little problem with interpreting the signals in that satiety pathway that we have. And yeah, maybe you might want to increase the amount of food. But I don't count grams of anything. I don't count grams of fat. I don't count grams of protein. I measure the amount of food I eat by the pound. And I've settled in at my weight right now and kept it within a pound or 2 or 3 for quite a while now. And I weighed 136 pounds this morning. Sounds like not enough for a 5'10" guy. It's perfect for me. My body fat percentage is right on the number. My BMI is 19, which is right at the bottom of what they consider a normal range. But that's fine because I'm very light framed. I have very thin bones. Even my doctor said, yeah, you're okay at that weight. I will not lose any more weight. And I don't think so. I've been stable between like 135 and 138 pounds for well over a year now. And it just kind of bounces up and down a little bit, depending, I guess, on how much fluid I've retained, or this may be too much information, but just how much I have in my bowel ready to come out. So, and I weigh myself about once a week, just out of curiosity, not because I have any goals or desires to see my weight change, but I can look in the mirror and tell you exactly every morning. And my skin's getting a little tighter and things are getting better, and I think my skin is actually improving. I think it's getting clearer and smoother. But I would go for a while, assuming this hasn't been going on for months, and see what your body tells you. You probably will never get ravenous because you have fuel to burn. But the hungriest I ever get, and I always say this, is if somebody asks me, Mitch, are you hungry? I say, I could eat. It means that, yeah, I could eat, but it'd be okay if I didn't. No sugar burner can ever say that, because every 2 hours they panic that they're getting close to death and have to have sugar, and the cravings start, and we all know that story. So I hope that answered your question, Paul. It's a great question. It's a great question. And although I couldn't give you a personal definitive answer for your situation and your condition, number one, I couldn't know. Number two, even if I did know, it's not my place. Not my place to play doctor. Not my place to play doctor. So I found that question. Let me scroll around here a little more and see if there's any more, because a lot of chatting has gone on. A lot of chatting has gone on since. Cliff's chiming in. Cliff's very political. I'm looking at the chats. There's Paul's question. Lad is here. How you doing, Lad? Said hi to you yet. And I'm looking for questions. But in the meantime, something's missing and the stream is almost over. I can't believe it. We got about 15 minutes left. Holy cow, but what have I forgotten? What have I forgotten? What goes with coffee and Mitch? You guessed it. Excuse me while I light my cigar. And the music end, but it'll start. How could I have forgotten this? There you go. There you go. Thank you for your patience, everybody. And let me, just for a second here, let me check over in Rumble and see what's going on. See if anybody knew. God, Ellen is chatting up in Rumble. And, oh, what a trooper she is. Holy cow. Sprack 56 is over there in Rumble. It's morning in America again. Good to see you, my friend. SPRAC 56. And we've got 34 people logged in on Rumble. I think that's about the most I've ever seen over there. Isn't that great? And for those of you that don't know, Olivia E2 in Rumble is Ellen. ST2AL said hi to you already. I think I got everybody in Rumble, so that's great. That's great. We got 130 people here watching me drink out of my new coffee cup. And I got a blue one for myself, and I'm going to send Ellen. I'm going to send Ellen the red one. I could have had more colors, but I decided to keep it simple, red and blue, so the whole thing is red, white, and blue for all you patriots out there as well. Looking for questions. I don't see any more. Ellen, if I missed any, make a note of them. That was a great question, though, about should you force yourself to eat. Here you go. Okay, here's a question from Cliff. Question, Mitch, what is the danger in maltodextrin? Well, maltodextrin is a starch. It's a starch. They use it as a binder, as a filler. It's sweet because it's a starch, and it breaks down immediately into sugar. As soon as it hits your saliva, as soon as you put it in your, whatever contains maltodextrin, you put it in your mouth, and it immediately, amylase, the enzyme amylase in your saliva hits it and tears it apart, and it becomes individual glucose molecules. So and that's the same with any starch. I don't care whether it's bread, pasta, any complex carbohydrate will break down immediately. It gets pre-digested in your mouth. That's the purpose of saliva. is to start the digestion process before you even swallow the food. And these complex carbs break down so fast and so easy that they become instant sugar. They use maltodextrin as a binder when they need to put extremely tiny, tiny amounts of other ingredients in that are almost impossible to measure unless they make big batches of this stuff and then divide it up. And that was the controversy over this LMNT thing, was that it turns out they were putting almost a half a gram of maltodextrin in what was supposed to be a healthy electrolyte drink because they needed to put the flavorings in, and the flavorings that they used had to be put in such a small quantity they needed to make a large batch so that they could divide it down and make sure that they had that tiny microgram amount of whatever flavoring agent they wanted to use. And the maltodextrin also had the added benefit of making the flavored LMNTs sweet. But after all the hoorah and all of the angst and outrage that has been crossing the paths on the internet, the actual reality of it is that the amount of maltodextrin that they put in, which was 100 times what it said on the label, which was a MITCH print. It was supposed to be 0.4 grams, and somehow the company that manufactured this, evidently this is the story, I don't know if it's true, didn't put 0.4 but put 4. Instead of 0.4 grams, they put 4 milligrams, which is 100 times less. So everybody thought that they were sneaking all this sugar into so that people could buy this sweet drink and feed their carb addiction, which wants sweet things. And that's true. That's true. But is it really enough to be harmful? That amount of maltodextrin, the half a gram, has 2 calories. Has 2 calories. Negligible carbohydrate. So no, it really doesn't hurt. It just keeps feeding your addiction with a need to have a sweet thing passing through your lips. The maltodextrin itself is just sugar. It's just another name for sugar. I was buying stevia. They called it stevia in the raw. Used to get them at Sam's Club. They used to come in restaurant size boxes that had, I don't know, 500 of these little paper tear over things like you see Splenda and saccharin and all that other stuff come in. And I looked at the ingredients one day and it said ingredients. It said stevia and maltodextrin. And it was expensive, but I threw the whole box away. I didn't look at the amount or anything. I said, why the hell am I trying to sweeten up? And at the time I was following somebody's advice to drink a lot of lemon juice to dissolve my kidney stones, which, by the way, did not work. And so every day I would make up a big tumbler full of lemonade with the lemon juice water, and I put some of this stevia and maltodextrin in it, and I enjoyed this sweet drink, which was not helping me get rid of my carb addiction. This was back in my keto days. And since there was negligible carbohydrate in that stuff, I figured, well, okay, it's not going to hurt me. But the minute I went carnivore, I said, no more maltodextrin in anything. Not because it might kick me out of ketosis or any other nonsense, but because I had finally learned that anything that tasted sweet triggered my addiction. And that became the main concern of everything I put in my mouth. The main question, does it trigger my addiction or not? And I learned that anything sweet, and I even tried to find the least sweet toothpaste I could find. The Arm & Hammer baking soda has a hint of peppermint in it, but it's not sweet, not real sweet. I was brushing my teeth with baking soda. Just baking soda on my toothbrush for a while. But I don't want sweet. I haven't tasted anything sweet, and I can't remember the last time I actually tasted anything that was sweet except the toothpaste I use. So no, no. What is the danger? I don't think there's any danger in it in small quantities, but I do think that if you are as severe a carb addict as me, and it has you starting to think about ice cream and bagels and stuff like that, then that's the danger. That's the danger. I hope I answered that question for you, Cliff. It's a great, great question because so much is being made of this maltodextrin. But it's just a starch, just another starch, complex carbohydrate, but sweet. So it makes a great sweetener. Any more questions? There's that one. There's that one. We are winding down here. Wow, wow. God, does time fly. Time flies. I think that, let me go on down towards the bottom of the chat here. See if anybody chimed in late. And DS111 says, I'm like Mitch. That's the anybody wants to be like me, that's the highest compliment I can get. Be careful what you wish for, though, my friends. I'm like Mitch, 2 inches shorter, but weigh only 143. Small, but just as strong or stronger than most other guys at work. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ah, here you go. Here's a great question. And this one's going to throw us into overtime, but that's okay. That's okay. Because I have a live stream tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. Ellen will be there and up in the penthouse watching over all of us. And we'll have time to answer a lot of questions. We'll have a time to answer a lot of questions. But this is a great question here. Cat M, I was wondering about vitamin C. I never used to supplement it when eating fruits and vegetables, but what about now? With only carnivore, thanks. This is a very much talked about, and the reason that it's talked about so much is that it is high on the list of anti-carnivore talking points that come from all of the vegetarians and vegans. But what about vitamin C? There's no vitamin C. You gotta get your vitamin C from fruits and vegetables, or else you'll get scurvy. God, even the name of that disease doesn't sound pleasant. You're going to get scurvy if you don't take vitamin C. Do you think the cavemen ever got scurvy? You know who got scurvy? Sailors, slaves, people on ships eating gruel. Nobody who ate meat ever got scurvy. Especially if they didn't eat all of the oxidative crap that we eat today. Vitamin C is only actually needed in the body in tiny quantities if you're not eating poison. And there's more than enough vitamin C in animal products. And that's the reason why. After all this time and all these YouTube videos and all the hoorah and everything you've seen out there and the Anthony Chaffees who haven't eaten anything but meat for years and the Sean Bakers and everybody else who does not take vitamin C and follows a carnivore lifestyle, you realize that the more shit you eat, the more vitamin C you're going to need. Stop eating the crap. You only need a tiny bit more than adequately provided by a carnivore or even a keto lifestyle. Because when you consume the fruits and the vegetables, you are basically just making the problem of being an addict, eating more carbs and less protein in the name of this vitamin C. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And yes, you will need more vitamin C. With all the hoorah, with all the YouTube videos, with all the talk about carnivore, the one video you've never seen is a carnivore that made a video that said, "Don't do I quit carnivore because I got scurvy." It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And if it could happen, it would have happened to me and everybody else, because that's what cause means. And in order to say that this causes that, it has to be universally true. And that would mean that every carnivore who hadn't taken a vitamin C supplement or eaten a fruit and vegetable for 6 months or a year would have to get scurvy, and none of us do. That's empirical evidence at its highest form, and that's what I go by, and I don't worry about it. So I would not, under any circumstances, listen to any of that crap that Gregory, Ornish, or any of these other people, these vegetable pushers out there, plant-based people, animal activists. It's propaganda, talking points, has no basis in fact or reality. What are they going to do? Start calling us vitamin C deniers now? Are they going to come out and say that it's settled science that you need vitamin C? All of the crap right out of their playbook. And yet, for every video that I've never seen talking about carnivores getting scurvy, I've seen hundreds of videos from used to be vegans saying, "The vegan diet almost killed me. I became carnivore and fixed everything." Isn't it amazing? Somehow we still manage to find tons of those videos, but not the first one, unless it's a propaganda pitch put on by some vegan. And we all know people lie like hell to support their ideologies. Don't worry about it. It's a great question. Great question. I know it's been asked and answered in every forum, everywhere, and that's my take. That's my take on it. The last thing you need to worry about is vitamin C. That's another question. I'll grab a couple of these. Dawn, how long until you see a difference in your mental clarity? I can't answer that. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. I would think that for me, it didn't take very long at all. It didn't take very long. Once I started eating adequate fat, stopped worried, and definitely got off any don't take any statins. You want mental clarity. Again, I'm not giving you medical advice telling you if your doctor has you on a statin, you need to deal with him with that. Don't take my word for it. Maybe somebody else's word for it. But I wouldn't take them. I wouldn't take them for any reason. I trust my own physiology to be smarter than all of the crap shit they're trying to sell us out there, especially some of these drugs that are totally unnecessary because of misconceptions like cholesterol clogs your arteries. So crazy. But if you do it right, and you have had a lot of brain fog, and these things don't happen overnight, so it's not like you wake up one day and you hear angels singing and the sun is brighter. You may not even notice until a little time passed, and you all of a sudden realize that you're thinking more clearly. You're able to figure things out. You're not forgetting stuff as often. And I think that's going to be an individual thing, but I think it's universal in carnivore because so many people, whether wishful thinking or not, claim to have mental clarity. For me, I can only ask you to judge for yourself. Do you think my brain works good for a almost 78-year-old guy? Do you think I have the ability to think? Think my memory isn't bad? Should have seen me 5 years ago. I was going down down a path that wasn't too good. So yes, my ability to analyze things, to talk right off the top of my head like this without even thinking about it first, just to have answers pop into my mind. Have speeches, whole speeches just form themselves as they happen, like I'm doing right now. Shows me just how helpful all of this has been to the health and especially the metabolism of my brain. Running on fat, getting adequate cholesterol to rebuild the myelin sheaths that insulate the connections between the neurons so they don't short circuit. That's what brain fog feels like. And that's, as it advances, what leads to dementia and Alzheimer's. So just look for the little clues, I think. Just look for the little clues. I think that might surprise you when all of a sudden you remember names. Someone asked about maltodextrin. Yeah, okay, John, I got that one. And I'm going to scroll down real quick. There's the question about maltodextrin. Now you guys are asking questions. Cat M says, I asked a question. I found it, Cat. It's hard for me to do all this. Question, Mitch. Question in the Rumble chat. Oh, wow, we're going to go all day here. Okay, hang on a second. Who asked me a question in the Rumble chat? If I don't find it, Ellen, write it down for me if you would. I don't see Q's. I don't see any Q's. Here it is. Question, hey Mitch, will tonight's live stream be on Rumble? Yes, I am going. I did the one on Saturday to Rumble. I will live stream tonight. And as soon as we're done here, when I get in the house, I will create the streams and they'll be posted. So got that one, and getting down to the bottom of the chat. There's the vitamin C question. Oh my God. Question, these coffee creamers that say sugar-free but fool you with maltodextrin in it, how the hell do they get away with that? Well, there's 65 different words, Cliff, that they use to mean sugar. Natural beet juice. I mean, they got 65, I think, at last count. That are just another way to say sugar. They use every trick in the book to put that stuff, but I wouldn't eat any of those coffee creamers. They're just a conglomeration of emulsifying agents and chemicals, which you don't need. You want cream in your coffee, go to the store, buy some heavy whipping cream. It's pretty much all fat. Throw a pat of butter in your coffee. Don't put anything that comes in powdered form in a jar in anything that you eat. The closest thing I use to something that comes in a jar are pork rind crumbs. That's it. One ingredient, pork rinds. Here's a question that's important, Mitch. How long into carnivore did the kidney stones happen? I am prone to them. Actually, all my kidney stones happened 10 years ago. The question for me would be, how long into carnivore was it before your kidney stones dissolved, passed, and went away? And I went from 8. I started with 8 kidney stones 10 years ago. I now have 3 left. I have passed the other ones. There were big kidney stones and they weren't moving. As they got smaller and dissolved, they started to move around and I passed them. I passed one 10 years ago, but that had nothing to do. It was a small enough one that I passed back then, but I was left with 8 of them, according to the CT scan I had. Now, according to my latest CT scan, when I passed this last one a few months ago, I had 3 left. 1 fairly large one and 2 very small ones. I might pass the small ones without even noticing. All I felt for some of the small ones was a little twinge, and then it went away. The big one they're going to have to deal with when it starts to move around, but the guy said, don't worry about it until it starts to bother you. You start to feel some pain or something. and they'll bust it up. They'll either use lithotripsy or laser or something, but it'll have to be some procedure. But carnivore means you're not eating oxalates at all, because you're not eating plants at all. When you stop eating the oxalates, your body will start dumping them. Part of dumping oxalates is to start to absorb the kidney stones, and they will go away. Last thing in the world a carnivore needs to worry about is developing kidney stones, in my own personal experience, and that's about all I can talk to. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, BMAT. Mitch, my star turned red today. Hey, congratulations, man, a year. Holy cow. What he means is in the private community, the stars are like badges, are like rank. And when they turn red, it means you've been a member of our private community for a year. Very good. Oh, Free Texanet is here. How you doing, Rhonda? Good to see you this morning. I keep missing the show. Well, the show is going longer, so you could have found it. And let me just run through. I'm trying to get to the end. Oh, the end is just, the longer I go, the more you guys keep coming in. And Kitchen Witch says, I want a red star. Well, you'll get one eventually. You got to go through the 2 different shades of blue, then the yellow, then the red. She says, I'll wait patiently. Okay. I think I'm going to have to call it or I'll be here all day. Ellen, if you, I think you guys just want me to sit here all day and do this. How many people we still got left? Still got 41 over there in Rumble. Holy cow. Holy cow. This is great. I gotta say, until tonight I got nowhere to go and all day to get there, but I do have some work. I'm putting out a video this afternoon that I hope everybody will find very, very useful. It's going to hopefully a legacy video. I've decided I need to go back to doing some more of those things. Basically, I'm going to try to cram within 20-25 minutes virtually every trick, technique, philosophy that deals with executing a carnivore diet, as far as shopping, preparation, storage, portioning, what I eat exactly every week, which foods I eat the most of, what gadgets I use, how I make it easy, how I make it quick, how I make it fast, how I make it no cleanup. All of that I tried to cram into one stupid video, basically everything you need to know to do this like Mitch, or successfully. And hopefully that video will become very popular if YouTube even recognizes and pushes it out there for me, something they haven't been doing lately. I think I'm down to the bottom of the chat. I think it's time for me to say, see you later. Let me bring in a little traveling music. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for coming and being here and participating in this. Thanks to all of you for the super chats, for buying me some coffees. Thank you. And I've enjoyed drinking out of my new coffee mug here today. Still some coffee in it. As usual, I've ignored my cigar, and it still hardly looks like I ever did it. So while I light my cigar, take a few minutes, say goodbye to each other in the chat. Tell everybody you'll see them tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll be back in a second. Yes. And with that, my friends, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for participating. Thanks for some great questions. Thanks for just supporting me and what I'm doing to try to get the word out there. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. So until tonight, my friends, up until 8 o'clock tonight, you can take that rest of the day off. Take the rest of the day off. We'll see you at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. And in the meantime, eat meat.